Hello everyone, this is Maurice and welcome to my home. Today we're going to do a nice quick little video about how to use your existing lamp parts, creative ways to use existing lamp parts. And we're going to do something very different, very quick, and it's going to be very inexpensive because of course we have all of these lamp parts that we've collected over the years. The only thing we might need to pay for, of course, is our hardware. And those are very cheap. I'll show you what they are and I'll leave the links below in the description. What we're making today is a tapered candle holder. And we're going to add to the top of it as an addition a Victorian style hurricane lampshade. So stick around with me. We're going to get right to that. I'm going to show you how we do it. So let's begin. Now these are all the lamp parts that we've selected to use for our candle holder, and they're actually pretty simplistic. I don't have the over-the-top ones I normally have, but it's still going to look pretty fabulous anyway when we put it together. And I determined how tall I wanted this to be simply by picking lamp parts, whatever I had, and just dropping them over the top of this lamp pipe to see how they looked together and how I wanted them to look. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that you can do it. You do it your way. You have all different types of lamp parts. You have the wood lamp parts, you can have crystal, you can have porcelain, whatever you want, whatever your style is, however you want it to look in your home. What your particular style is what you love. The types of things that you love. If you love wood, if you love porcelain, if you love crystal, if you love bronze, whatever it is that you want to use to make this, so that something that you want to have in your home that looks very decorative and goes with the particular style that you have in your home. Now this is the types of things that I like. I always like the bronze and the gilt and the crystal, very French looking, and that's just my particular style. But the whole point of doing this is to be creative and make it the way you want, something that you're going to love. And this is something that I want to do because it's a simple thing to do, and I have all of these parts, and it's not going to cost me much money, well, any money, because I had all of these parts already. Now, some of these things you might need to buy, and if you do, you can buy them very cheaply at grandbrass.com. They have all of these lamp parts. They're very cheap. This is a 8-inch lamp pipe. It's got the 1/8 IPS threads at each end, and it's 8 inches because when I put all of my pieces together, this is what I determined the height of this is going to be, and so this is the only size that I'm really going to need. So I ordered this particular lamp pipe. It was only $1.30 from grandbrass.com. You're going to need other lamp parts. You're going to need are your 1/8 IPS nuts, which are going to, you need 2 of them. They're only about 22 cents. You're going to secure them to the top of your lamp pipe and the bottom once you have put your body together, so you can just secure this whole thing down. It won't move. You won't have any issues. The other parts we need are called check rings. These check rings, you need 4 of them. They are to go at the top and bottom of your crystals. If you are using crystal pieces or porcelain pieces, anything like this, you want to protect them. So when you're tightening this down, it does not crack or break your crystal or porcelain pieces. So these check rings act as a buffer so that that doesn't happen, and you want one for the top and the bottom of those pieces. And in this case, we are using 2 crystal pieces, so we need 4. Now those are the only actual hardware parts you're going to need for this. Other than that, I've selected to put on this these 2 crystal pieces, lamp bodies. I have some small bronze and gilt lamp bodies here that I'm going to put to separate these crystals. I have Beaubouchers. I have 2 Beaubouchers. They're exactly the same with the exception of the fact that one of these Beaubouchers has holes all around the exterior of it that you can hang chandelier crystals. The other one does not. And so we're going to actually use one of these for the bottom of our candle holder, and we're going to use one at the top so we can hang crystals from. It's going to look nice and balanced, and it's going to look pretty fancy. we have, as always, we need our base. And the base is usually a weighted base. This is a marble base. It's 4.5 inches across. And this is going to act as a stabilizer for any weight that's at the top. And at the very top of this candle holder, we're going to have is a Victorian style fluted hurricane lampshade, and it's all frosted glass, and if you notice, it's got these nice etchings all around. It's going to make it look pretty fancy. So we're going to have that, and we've got to have, to hold that shade, a hurricane lampshade holder. And this is going to sit at the top of our candle holder, and your shade will fit right inside of it. So we need that. This came from an actual lamp that I had many years ago, and the actual socket fixture sat in this recess, and you had a light bulb that sat in the top, and you had this hole here where the switch came out where you could turn it off and on. But this is a necessary piece. We're going to need this to hold up our shade. The other thing we need is this as a tapered candle holder cup. You see, you have our tapered candle. It's going to set right inside of there. And these you can find on anything, especially if it's vintage, any vintage candle holders or candelabras, or even vintage chandeliers. You'll find these. And on chandeliers, you're going to find that there's a plastic candle that sets out of here, and the little chandelier light bulb that sits on the top. These are actually pretty common. You'll find them in a lot of places. You're going to find them at garage sales, thrift stores, that sort of thing. And they're not terribly expensive. But we do need this because it's going to sit inside our hurricane shade holder. And that's what our candle is going to sit inside of. Okay. The last thing that we have is we're going to use these Bobachets, and we are going to actually put chandelier crystals around them. Now you can get all kinds of chandelier crystals. You can get the French crystals, you can get U-drop crystals, you can get the teardrop crystals, round crystals, whatever kind you like. And usually you can go to places like a store that I love to go to, which is in Andover, New Jersey, called Made in the Shade. And she sells mostly lamps, a lot of lamps, lamp parts, shades, chandeliers, and she sells chandelier crystals, and she sells them fairly cheaply. But what I'm going to use for this, because it's 8 inches tall, and those chandelier crystals are maybe going to set 3, maybe 4 inches at the most down from this Bobachet. I wanted something a bit longer, so I'm going to put together these chandelier chains, chandelier crystals. They're chains, and I have a small U-drop at the very end. Now U-drops come in all different lengths, but I kind of like this one because I think it's going to look really finished when I'm done. So I'm going to use this. I have only 3 crystals here, and I'm going to use another one with 4 crystals with a U-drop at the bottom. So when I put them side by side, they're going to be offset like this. One's going to be a little longer than the other, and I'm going to do this all around the Bobachet. I think that'll look pretty cool. So we are going to, those are the parts, that's what we need, and we're going to put this together very quickly. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Now we're going to start putting this together. I've laid everything out here in the order that I'm going to put it together, because if I don't do this, I'm going to forget a part or a piece, and that is something that I do. I always get part of the way through it and say, oh shit, I forgot to put this piece on. I'm going to take it apart again. I don't want to do that. So I've laid them all out in the order that I'm going to use them. And in putting this together, first of all, we're going to put one of these 1/8 IPS nuts at the end of our lamp pipe, because we're going to start building this from the top. And the reason we're going to start building it from the top is because this is going to go, the top of this is going to go inside this pipe, this tapered candle holder cup. and we're not going to be able to really get in there with a tool to tighten this, so it's best that we have there on that already, so we start from the top. So we're going to put this on, and the next thing we're going to put on is our hurricane shade holder in there, and then our Bobachet with the holes in it. That's going to go right underneath. Then we have a lamp body. This little lamp body we're going to put in. And then our top crystal is going to go here with our check ring. And then we have another little lamp body here that's going to separate those two crystals. This way. There we go. It's going to go there. We have our other check ring that's going to go on the top of this crystal. We're going to put that crystal on. And then our other check ring for the bottom of this crystal. And then we're going to put this Bobachet for the bottom on. And then we put on our base. We have our base on here. You see how that looks all together? And we just need to put on our nut. Now we're just gonna start, see, our nut on this, and it's started, so that's together. We just need to tighten it. So I have here, this is a ratchet, and it's got, I'm using the socket for this ratchet is a 14 millimeter. It seems to work very well with the 1/8 IPS nuts. It fits in there very nicely. I'm going to just hold this, put that on there, and tighten it. And it doesn't take much. There we go. It's done. Now all we have to do is put on our crystals. We're going to just start with one, and we're going to offset that all the way around with the longer ones. And we just have our last two to put on. There we go. We put the crystals all around that Bobachet, and now all we have to do is put on our top. And there you go. We have very easily, very simply, very quickly made a candle holder for a table candle, and we were able to put a hurricane shade on the top. And that's it. We have finished our candle holder, everyone. It was a really quick, really fun little project that we did using lamp parts we've had for ages. We've just collected them, we put them aside, and we were going to one day find a use for them. And of course, this is something you can do. This is something I urge you to play around with. I urge you to go to yard sales and garage sales and thrift stores. Look for these vintage old lamps, whether they be bronze or porcelain or wood. Anything you can use for a project like this. Pick them up cheap, strip the parts off of them, and you can build something like this any way you want. Now, it was a fun little project. It was a quick little project. You saw how easy it is to do. You can get really creative with it, and I urge you to do so. And you can keep it really cheap. You have the parts from the lamp already, and all you need is those little hardware parts that cost us in total for this project probably $5 from grandbrass.com. So go ahead, play around with these things. Make sure that you use all of your creative energy to put into something like this. You can make anything you want. As you can see how easy it is to do. You can make this your style any way that you want it, any style that you want it, any color that you want it. You can paint it, you can stencil it, you can do whatever you want to do with it, just as long as you make it your own. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I really hope that you'll like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. And until then, stay fabulous, everyone.